Good morning and welcome to Four Wheels and a Seat. I'm Alex Dalrymple and this is a channel where you can see a new car reviewed every week and be notified when they go online. How easy is that? But you got to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. If you enjoy the video, if you give me a like as well, that would be awesome. Thank you. There is a reason why you see a lot of these on the road. I'm talking about the MG ZST because not only does it have a passing resemblance to a Mazda, but it is also about the best value small SUV you can buy. It's well made, well equipped, it looks good, and it drives really well. I've reviewed the electric version of this car a couple of times, both the normal and long range versions, and externally they look pretty similar. You can check out those reviews by clicking the link just up there. The only real difference being that this car has an open front grille where the EV versions have it blanked off. This particular car is a top spec Essence model, so it gets some very nice two-tone alloy wheels and also probably about the biggest panoramic sunroof you're going to find on any small car. It is absolutely huge. The back of the ZST looks a little less Mazda-like. I really like the rear light clusters, I think they look cool. And under the tailgate hides a 359 litre storage space, and that expands by a further 900 or so with the rear seats down. The ZST comes with two engine choices depending on which spec you get. The lower spec models get a naturally aspirated 1.5 litre four-cylinder engine, which is not fantastic. And this top spec Essence comes with a turbocharged 1.3 litre three-cylinder engine, and it's definitely the pick of the bunch. It outputs 115 kilowatts of power and 230 newton meters of torque. Lower spec cars get a CVT. This one gets a 6-speed automatic transmission and drives its power through the front wheels only. Fuel economy clocks in at 7.3 litres per 100 kilometres on a combined cycle. The engine does drink the more expensive 95 RON fuel though. The interior of the ZST, much the same as the EV version, so a good mix of soft materials up on top and this carbon fibre print-like material here in the middle, which I actually quite like. Gets a little bit firmer and scratchier as you move down into the areas that you don't often touch. But it's a good looking design. I really like it. It's a nice light and bright cabin, certainly helped out by the panoramic sunroof. The only major real difference is the center console screen software, which in this petrol version is just not nearly as good as the newer system found in the EV. And in fact, I'd go so far as saying it's really nowhere near as good. And I really hope that they get rid of this soon and replace it with the EV version, because that is much better than this. This is the system that's found in the mid-size HS model as well, and it's just not very good. Don't get me wrong, it does everything you need it to do, it's just not nearly as good to use. There's menus within menus within menus, and there's probably actually too many options, too much functionality available through this system, to the point that you've really got to pull over to the side of the road and go through it in depth to find a few basic functions. Top spec Essence cars come with a top-down 360-degree parking camera, as well as surround view cameras and a virtual 3D mode, which again, for a car at this price point, is a rare thing to find, and so hats off to them for that. Picture quality is not the sharpest. There's also Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but they are both wired, and the sound system has 6 speakers and is a bit tinny. We do have a row of shortcut switches just underneath that, which allows you to change the temperature and fan speed for the aircon, and also a shortcut button back to the home screen, as well as volume control. 2 USB-A ports underneath that, as well as a 12-volt outlet and a nice little storage space for your phone. Lower console, we've got this nice carbon fibre print plastic surrounding the gear shifter, a couple of slightly too small cup holders here that don't quite fit 2 large coffees in them, and a smallish size center console bin. Depending on which spec of the ZST you get, you either have a hybrid analog digital instrument cluster, or in this case we get a full digital one, which actually utilizes 2 different LED technologies. On the outside we've got segment LED numbers that are a bit kind of 1980s in there, appearance, but they look really good. And I've seen a similar design in Kia, I think it was. The center screen is a full LED screen. There's a few different display modes showing you journey information, and also the MG Pilot system is visible through here. The steering wheel has a nice feel to it. It's got red leather stitching, and yeah, it's pretty easy to use, nice and comfortable. Flat bottom, which is great when you're cornering or going around bends. The seats are leather and there is electric adjustment for the driver. The two front seats are heated and they're not the best for tall people, I have to say. My long legs don't really rest on this cushion at all, so I kind of feel like I'm falling forward a little bit, and yeah, it's just not the best driving position for me. Plenty of headroom though, can't complain about that, and visibility is really good. Out the front, right to the front corner of the bonnet, good visibility through the rear vision mirror as well as the wing mirrors. They're a good size too. Another detail I really like on the seats are the stitched MG logos on the headrests. They look really premium. So what's the car like to drive? Really easy, actually. It's a very nice, smooth, easy car to drive. I've done a lot of driving in this car. I've had it for a little bit longer. I've had it for about 10 days, and I did a road trip. So I've put, quite a few hundred kilometers on this car, and I'm very impressed, actually. I haven't really done any form of off-roading in it. It's not really designed to do that. This is an urban SUV, and on the highway, it actually performs really well. It does get a little bit noisy at some higher revs, but it doesn't feel underpowered. There's enough power to overtake comfortably on the highway, and that's an important point because when I was driving the Subaru Crosstrek last week, that was a real issue. Its non-turbocharged four-cylinder engine just had very little grunt for highway traffic. This is a different story. The turbocharged 1.3 litre three-cylinder engine actually works really well. One thing I have been genuinely very impressed with in this car is the MG Pilot system, the adaptive cruise control. I was stuck in some horrendous long weekend bumper-to-bumper traffic last weekend, and rather than having to constantly move my foot from the accelerator to the brake, and it felt like it was going on for hours, this system just did it all. And a lot of adaptive cruise control systems in other cars don't do that. They will slow you down and bring you to a stop if the traffic in front of you stops, but they won't start again. The system here in the MG starts the car again, which is really good. On the trip down the coast, my kids were very happy in the back seat. There are two USB-A ports there, which kept their devices charged and kept them quiet. Plenty of room back there too, but as my son commented, "What, there's no armrest?" Can't have it all. Here in the top spec Essence, plenty of safety features, including adaptive cruise control, which I've already mentioned. We've got blind spot monitors in the wing mirrors, as well as forward collision alert. So, dodgy infotainment aside, when you take into account this car's good looks, its performance, its build quality, and a 7-year warranty, $33,990 is nothing. I mean, that is outstanding, unbelievable value. I paid more for my top spec Honda Civic 5 years ago, and it doesn't have nearly as much kit as this car does. So it's not hard to see how the MG ZST has quickly become one of the best-selling cars on the road.